I want to share something with you. Listen to this.
Remy Roy from Driven Introvert podcast. Notice the name, The Driven Introvert. I released more solo episodes this year, which really helped me build confidence in my skills as a podcaster. Now I'm starting to get opportunities to speak about podcasting for entrepreneurs. In fact, I have a talk coming up at the University Entrepreneurship Center this February. Remy Roy from The Driven Introvert. So introvert, releasing solo episodes, and now is going to be doing public speaking. Very, very cool. I love hearing those stories.
So you're probably wondering what that was. I wrote into a podcast that I follow. It's created by my podcast hosting company, and they shared my message on their show. So what happened was they asked the question, I wrote in with my answer, and they shared it on the show. And there's something about hearing your words spoken out loud by someone else that gives you a weird sense of clarity. When I think about my journey, one thing that has always worked for me is I am very determined. I've never been the smartest, most confident, or most connected person in any room, but I think I like to run through walls. I like to stand my ground and keep going at something even when it should be okay for me to quit, right? In this episode, I want to share a story with you. I'll tell you a little more about it before I let you know where you can read it. Yes, you're going to read it. Let's get into it. You're listening to the Driven Introvert podcast, the place to be for dreamers, doers, and entrepreneurs who are ready to birth the dreams, callings, and ideas the Lord has placed in their hearts. Do you sense that God is calling you to step out and do something new, but you're held back by fear and uncertainty? Do you struggle with believing that you can do great things because of your quiet, reserved, and introverted nature? Welcome here. I'm Remy Roy, your host and founder of shepacked.com. I'm an author, an entrepreneur, a creative, and a committed trier. I'm here to help you get unstuck and make progress on your God idea. Let's go. So in case you do not know, I used to write fiction. As a matter of fact, I have 3 published books on Amazon. One is fiction, the other is fiction-ish. If you check it out, you know what I mean. And the last one is a journal. Bottom line is I write stories. And one story I wrote many years ago now, really reminded me of this powerful truth that I like to remind you of, which is you have to be determined. It doesn't matter what you're going for, what your dreams are, what your goals are, what the thing in life that you think you want to achieve is. You have to be determined because life will throw all sorts of things at you. Are you going to stand your ground? So this story actually happened to me. I titled it Life is Not a Fairy Tale, and it's about the time when I lived in Nigeria and I took a last-minute flight to attend a promising job test/interview thing in another city while I was sick with typhoid fever. Really sick with typhoid fever. Only to learn the next morning that I had failed the interview because I suck at math. I don't like math. I don't know math. And the rub was, this was my first time on a plane ever, and I spent my meager salary to actually fund this trip. Seriously, I didn't have to take that trip. I didn't have to spend my savings to do it. No one would have faulted me for letting that one go since I was so sick, and I had literally just fainted the day before I did this. Because I do things like this sometimes. Sometimes I regret it. Most times I don't, depending on the day. Anyway, I'd like you to read this story. I wanted to share it with you. Check out the link in the show notes. There's a glossary in there for Nigerian words that you may not understand or are not familiar with, but hopefully you get the gist. Let me know what you think. I'll put the link in the show notes so you can read it. I'd like to hear your thoughts and your perspective and about the story and about determination. And I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoy this conversation, please take a moment to follow or subscribe to the podcast. I'd also love your feedback on this episode. You can scroll down on your app and click write a review. I'd love to read your takeaways from this conversation. As always, don't forget to take courage, trust God, and go pursue your big ideas. See you next time.